This episode of Black Hills and Eastern Railroad is going to be a very special mail call edition from Australia. I have a buddy that has some shared interest in the land down under. He's been here to the States a couple of times and operated with us on several very outstanding layouts, and he repatriated here a locomotive that I painted for him a long time ago, and you're going to see that locomotive working here on the BH&E very shortly.
Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, from the plains of the Sioux Empire to the heart of the hills.
So here we are. We're going to unbox this bad boy. This is a Kato locomotive that I painted for my friend. This is many years ago, probably 15 years ago or so, and we're going to take a look and see what exactly he's got for us here. Here we have DM&E 6361. This appears to be an SD40-2 that I painted for many years ago, and this is one of the ex-Milwaukee road locomotives that DM&E ran for a lot of years. The lower 6300s, they inherited these with a shorter fuel tank, so I've accurately represented that here on this locomotive by using an SD38-2 underframe carriage, and then of course the Kato SD40-2 shell and running boards, handrails, all that type of thing. They are somewhat compatible. I do remember having to shave down maybe off of the SD38 frame just a little bit to accommodate the shell, but more or less they are interchangeable. And you might remember that the Kato SD38-2 has accommodation or the provision for a speaker in the fuel tank. We'll probably be adding SoundTraxx to that, since my other two Kato locomotives, or other two DM&E locomotives, already have sound on them. So we probably will be undertaking a sound DCC project here in the fairly near future. So just as a clarification here, I did actually custom paint this unit. The weathering is probably mine as well. The decals are out of the microscale set, and you might notice that the numbers on the side of the cab aren't exactly correct for what they need to be. They're not in the correct font, but they're close enough for me, and we'll continue to run with this. This will look great with those two engines that I have. You can take a look back in the description, and I'll put a link to the time when I powered up sound on that Bowser Canadian SD40-2, which DM&E referred to as a SD40-3. It of course is the GMD version of the SD40-2, and really no mechanical differences, but there are some spotting features which you might be interested to learn about in that video. So it's several weeks later now, and I got done messing around with putting my SoundTraxx system back together, so we'll go back in the other room and get JMRI Decoder Pro back. So here we are at the computer with JMRI Decoder Pro fired up. I'm going to hit New Loco, and I have a reasonable suspicion that this is a SoundTraxx decoder, but I am going to go ahead and hit Read Type from Decoder anyway, and that'll go ahead and read the CVs, which correspond to the decoder manufacturer, and bring back us probably SoundTraxx DH121. And there it is right there. This is the very basic old school decoder that I started out with when I started in DCC. What has that been? I don't know. I don't want to mention how many years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and double click that, opening up a new programming window, and I'm going to skip right over to basic here, and I'm going to hit read full sheet just to see what we've got going on. This decoder probably isn't going to stay in this engine. We're probably going to replace this with sound, but that's a subject for another time. It's still reading, and you can hear the motor moving around. And there, it comes back as expected with 6361 for the long decoder address in this engine. And it is set up for NMRA digital only, not conversion. That's good. So I think probably, well, we'll go ahead and look at lights here a minute. Hit the lights tab, and I'll hit read full sheet. This being a very basic economy level decoder, there's not much going on here. Normal headlight function, that's kind of what we want. So I think we'll go back out to the layout and take a look at what's going on with this engine out there in the Sioux City, Burlington Northern yard. So I have here 6361 acquired on the left-hand throttle here on this DT400. This is a DT400R throttle, and I'll make sure, let's see, we're set to go forward here, and we'll turn the headlight on. F0. Anybody there? Must have this set up for reverse operation. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to check that out when we get into dig into the decoder install. It's set up to go backwards the way it looks. I don't know what's up with that, but anyway, yeah. So thank you so much for sending me back this engine. I promise to take good care of it and to operate it regularly. So my long-term plan was probably to get a SoundTraxx Tsunami decoder put in this thing. You might remember me saying that this is based on a Kato SD38-2 frame, which had the speaker mounted downward in the fuel tank. So I've done that a couple of other times, and that's worked out well in those configurations. Would like this to run with the other two DM&E units that I've already got, to run up the hill from Whitewood to Deadwood, South Dakota, to interchange with BN downtown Deadwood. Anyway, so that's probably another episode for that decoder install. Maybe sometime this summer we'll get you that. But for right now, here's where we're going to pull the pin on this particular episode. If you like the content, smash that like button, leave us a comment down below, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you in the guys in the next one.